This is part 2 of my series of videos showing my Doctor Who magazine collection. And we're just going to pick up from where we left off in part 1. I left off there with Doctor Who magazine number 471. So this is 472 for May 2014. 473. Now this part is an unbroken run. I have everything from 471 to 528. This is 477. 478, 479. Now, as with the other video, I'm going to have to run through these pretty quickly. And 484, 485. I'll bring some more here. All right, here we're at 486, 487, 488, 489, 490. 491. Now you can see I made the mistake here of opening the bag that it comes in from the bottom. Sometimes it's tempting to do that because there's a little flap. Learned my lesson. You always want to cut it from the top. Just make a little cut with a pair of scissors, make a little opening, slice it open, and then you can pull things out. Otherwise, you're going to have to put everything in a bag to keep it from falling out. It's 495, plus the little stickiness can, if you don't bag it, the stickiness can get stuck to the issue next to it. Okay, 499, and now we got issue number 500, which came in this big envelope. I've kept the envelope, and as you can see here, 500 came with a whole bunch of cool stuff. A cover that is like the cover of the first one, with its own little stuff there, the replicating the, oh, and then this souvenir magazine talking about the history of Doctor Who magazine. Pretty awesome if you're a fan of Doctor Who magazine. Plus a poster, you know. Doctor Who magazine always has cool stuff like that. The celebration continued, though, with issue number 501, with this huge Tom Baker interview. 502, then you had a great Peter Davison interview there with 503. So they were really rocking at this point. Patrick Troughton. Here's another one where I accidentally opened it from the bottom. But we'll grab some more here. Okay, here we're at issue number 508, 509. And as you can see, it's a mix of, classic and modern Doctor Who here. We're still in the Peter Capaldi era, which is coming to an end here shortly. End of an era, issue number 515. And then Jodie Whittaker becomes the new Doctor. Sylvester McCoy, David Tennant, David Bradley is the Doctor. Christmas issue number 520. Jodie Whittaker is the Doctor. Yeah, 522, 523, nice little composite montage photo there. John Pertwee, Tom Baker, 527, and 528. Now I'm missing 529, and I'm going to show some more here. Okay, so I have one last box left of Doctor Who magazine. And then after that, a box of miscellaneous Doctor Who related type magazines. So right now we're at 530, because I was missing 529. 531, 532. Whoops. Again, see, I stupidly opened it from the bottom. You'd think I'd learned my lesson. Always open it from the top. 533, and 534, 535. 536. You would think they would have run out at some point of things to discuss, but they have not. So 540, 541, 542. Right now we're in 2019. 543, another, celebratory issue. 544, 545, 540. 7. I don't have 547 at the moment. It is in the mail to me, though. So I have 546, it goes from 547, but I actually do have two 548s here. This is the same issue, it just says two different covers, so which by chance I happen to get. 549. Now I'm missing 550, 551, and 552. That was during the height of the pandemic, and there was a lot of shutdowns and stuff like that, so it sort of messed with my ability to get Doctor Who magazine. But we got 553, 554, these are all from 2020, 555. Here you can see I correctly opened it from the top. This is 556 and 557. That's the most recent one I have, December 2020. I do have 558 and 559, which I think 559 may be the most recent one available in the US at the moment. 560 has the master on the cover. Not sure if that's in the US yet, but that's the most recent one. So I have 558 and 559 coming to me, and 560 I haven't gotten yet. And now I'm going to show you the Doctor Who magazine specials. All right, in the 1980s and 90s, Marvel UK was the publisher of Doctor Who magazine. And starting in 1980, they did these seasonal specials, summer special, winter special, and so forth. And these were just periodically released. There were around 28 of them. I'm missing 8, exactly 8 of them. So this was the first one, Summer Special 1980. It was like 1981 and so forth. So they don't have numbers on the front, so you just have to kind of look online, and there's like, you know, lists of. In fact, I remember ordering an issue on Mile High Comics or something like that, and they sent me the wrong issue, which is kind of easy to understand because these, like I said, they can be kind of confusing about, you know, what number is it? You know, winter is at 1986, 1987, and so forth. This one I got at the time. My friend sent it to me. It's in kind of rough condition, but that's a hard one to kind of get now. This is the 10th anniversary issue of Doctor Who magazine. So all these, they're sort of like a companion magazine to the regular Doctor Who magazine. And that's the last one I have of the Marvel UK specials. After that, in the 2000s, Panini, who took over the publication of Doctor Who magazine, had Doctor Who magazine special edition. And this was the first one of that, issue number 1. From, it doesn't say here, it's like 2003 or 2002, something like that. So the complete 5th Doctor, the complete 6th Doctor. I'm missing a bunch of these, maybe about half of them. Complete 8th Doctor, I bought that when it came out, as well as this one. And these are pretty cool, these special editions. They'll have a theme. So the whole issue, and they're kind of like bookazines is what they call them. The whole issue will be about one topic. So it's a lot more focused, you know, there's not like letter pages and stuff like that. Series 2. Now they started releasing, with Peter Capaldi's, they started releasing these Doctor Who companion things separately. But before then, they were released, like with David Tennant and Matt Smith, they were released as part of the Doctor Who magazine special edition series. And the comic strips, too, they reprinted the comic strips back then, but nowadays those are printed in their own books. The official guide to the 2013 series. Later, they would start doing a yearbook thing. But some of these things are pretty awesome when they focus. See, here's it says 2016 yearbook. When they focus on a particular topic that happens to be pretty interesting, it can be pretty cool. Toys and games. I think 558 has a similar thing. This one referencing the Doctor was pretty cool. All about the fanzines and stuff like that. In fact, let me see if I can find something in here. Well, let's see. Let's just it's very like historical. Anyway, really interesting. This one was also really cool, and it had a thing about fanzines in here, if I remember right. There we go. And the 2019 yearbook, the 2020 yearbook, and this is one of the most recent ones, production design. Like I said, I'm missing about half of the special editions. They tend to cost more, I think, but anyways, so now I'm going to show some other ones here. Okay, and this was another spin-off series from Doctor Who magazine called The Essential Doctor Who. The funny thing was, it wasn't that essential. It cost like twice as much. This is like cover price $20 in the US. And Marcus Hearn was the, who later became Doctor Who magazine editor, was the editor of it. And it would focus on one's topic. It was kind of cool. It had a little bit more pages, a bookazine format, but it wasn't that essential. So I don't have as many of those. I'm missing about half of them, I guess. This is like, I don't know offhand, but it's something like issue number 4 or so. The Master, Invasions of Earth, The Time Lords, Relative Dimensions. Now, I think this might be the last one. This was like book number 15 or something like that. So this might be the last one to be released. I don't know if there was another one after that. There was also this one on a similar format called The Story of Doctor Who. And it was sort of a, if you wanted to know the history of the show in one book, there you go, Not that essential, though. Now, here's some other magazines that I have. The Frame was this is 1989, issue number 11, was edited by Stephen James Walker, David J. Howe, and Mark Stammers, who were, historians of Doctor Who really knew their stuff. And so I really like The Frame. So that's number 11, number 12, number 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Douglas Camfield tribute issue. And then there was also this reprint, the best of issues 1 to 3, because I guess they were more of a small press format at that time. Time Screen did something similar where they reprinted their earlier issues. Scarrow, which this was a really cool issue where fans reminisce about the series. I think this was from like 1990 or something like that. Vanessa Bishop was the editor, I believe, or one of the co-editors. Proteus, I only have 2 issues of Proteus from 1990. I'll show you some more here. Now this is my issues of DWB, Doctor Who Bulletin, later called Dreamwatch. And it was sort of a more gossipy magazine, who really hated John Nathan Turner. No more JNT. I don't know offhand how many of these I got, but we'll see here. It stopped around number 129, I think, and then or maybe 130, and then it got rebooted from number 1 as Dreamwatch, where it just covered all sorts of science fiction programming. So it was interesting. Some people who may not be used to it may be sort of surprised at the hostile tone. But it's a fanzine, it was kind of cool. Especially back then, if you wanted to be kept up on the latest news. And the BBC kept, saying, oh, the show will be coming back. It's only on hiatus. And, it's not canceled. And fans kept waiting and waiting and waiting. Confirmed no Doctor Who in 1990. So this really kind of served a purpose, especially before the internet, to kind of keep up with what was going on. And plus, it wasn't an official journal like Doctor Who magazine was, so it could be a little more muckrakey, and it would kind of, give you the real lowdown of what was really going on. This is the only one I actually had from back in the day. It's kind of in worn condition, but Doctor Who fans playing mass phone in. You wouldn't see a cover like that on Doctor Who magazine. But it also covered Blake 7, Star Trek Next Generation, and other stuff. As you know, you're in the 90s now, and there's not a show to cover. You know, no more Doctor Who. So issue 100, 101, Sapphire and Steel, 106. So, you know, they were still covering Doctor Who, but like I said, there was less to cover. Red Dwarf. It's official. Doctor Who's back in production, 1993. Well, not quite. 10th anniversary issue. Degeneration of the Daleks. Blake 7. The Way Back was the name of the first episode. 25 Years John Pertwee. So this is number 130. That might be the last issue. I don't know. If not, it was near the last. Envision was a magazine that would cover one story with really tiny print and with some fan art. So that one covers Genesis of the Daleks, Pyramid of Mars. So each story got its own issue. Well, they're kind of thin though, and they have little specials like that unit special, Seeds of Doom. I don't have every one of these, but you don't see them that often either, especially not cheaply. Season 14 overview, Season 17 overview. But usually I would try to pick out favorite stories like that. Kinda is one of my favorite. And then you had some American magazines. Files magazine. These aren't that good. Fantasy Empire. I'm not that much of a fan of the American versions of these. Let me show you some more here. Alright, and finally, we have some other random stuff here. Vortex is a Big Finish digest size magazine. Time Screen was Andrew Pixley's magazine of British telefantasy. Andrew Pixley being one of the best of the British TV fantasy historians. So he had his own magazine back then. Blake 7, Marvel Monthly Magazine. This is number 12. So it was like Doctor Who magazine started out being, but it was devoted to Blake 7. This is the only one of those I have. And I have a whole bunch of TV Zone here. The TV Zone was sort of like Starburst or Starlog magazine. It was kind of heavily towards Doctor Who at the beginning, but gradually, when there was no more Doctor Who to cover, it get into other topics. I'm only missing like 15 issues of TV Zone between number 1 and number 83. And after number 83, I'm not that interested anymore, really. So I don't really need any after 83. But we'll just run through these real quick. 1, issue number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. I might be missing one there. Yep, so I'm going to run through these a little quicker because I'm running out of time. So if my this phone card only holds about 21 minutes of video. So I'll just run through as many of these as I can before the clock runs out. '66, '68. So now we're into, they're showing, it's covering a lot more of like U.S. Science fiction TV shows. You know, because there's not so much more Doctor Who anymore. And there's 127, 137. Now they also had a special, TV Zone special, sort of like Doctor Who magazine's specials. And again, they started out kind of interesting, about 1970s stuff, but then they get into other stuff. And then we have SFX, which is a similar thing. In fact, one of these came with this little binder thing. This SFX also covers stuff still going on, I think. It's like science fiction type stuff. It's sort of like a British Starlog magazine. And I also have some, let's open this up, some fanzines about the Avengers as well. Stay tuned. And hope to get more of those. Well, that's it. That's my collection of Doctor Who magazines and related magazines. And if you didn't watch part one, watch part one where I run through issue number 1 through, I think it was 471 of Doctor Who magazine. Thanks for watching. Bye.